Hello there, Goony124 here. Today I am playtesting a game called Dance Assembly. This is a sandbox game where you make a character, or basically anything you want, out of primitive objects, and the whole idea of this is to make that thing dance. Which is a really cool idea for a game. It's very unique, and it's nice to play a sandbox game where I get to create something, not like a first-person shooter or like an RPG or a roguelike like I usually do. It's nice to play a sandbox game for once. But yeah, we're going to make a character and make it dance. That's the whole idea of this video. I'm going to talk about some feedback and stuff like that as well, and bugs. But first of all, before we make a character, let's talk about this actual main menu right here. It's really nice in 3D, which I really like. And the character here, this is actually the rig you use to make your own characters. You basically attach objects onto this rig, and that's how you make a character. Okay, let's talk about the actual UI here as well. I really like the UI in the actual game itself, and I really like how you see the bottom corner here. It tells me what these buttons actually do, which is really nice. Very informative, and you may notice actually when we go through and actually, play the game, the UI is very concise and you just know where everything is, and it's just really, tidy. But there is one thing here in the UI that I don't really like that much, and it's this logo. Not really the logo in itself that's bad, it's just the fact it's just really low quality and quite blurry. Definitely improve that, but it's not a big deal, it can be easily fixed. And one last thing is this bug button here. It doesn't work for some reason. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's probably going to be fixed very easily. And also, I'm sending the actual developer this video and some feedback as well, so it's not really a big deal. So let's actually get into the game. So this is the actual game editor which we're actually using, that we actually create our character in. But first of all, before we do that, let's actually load a few characters I've already worked on. And first of all, a bit of a weird one right here. This is a pole dancer's pole that dances. Really weird, but kind of cool. Let's go on to the next one. This one's really cool. I spent quite a bit of time on this one. It's a pirate on a pirate ship, and he dances as well. Really cool. And yes, you can use objects to actually make the environment as well. You may have noticed I've made the ocean out of a giant cube, and I've made this ship entirely out of primitives, which is really nice. You may even notice I even gave the guy peg legs. We're getting distracted here. Let's actually get into another thing I've made. A worm that dances. Really cool, right? Yeah, let's go on to the next one. A hefty, muscular man that dances. And you know what you can do with dances? You can actually change which dance you use. And this one especially works with this guy. Yes. Went a bit over the top on this one, six packs and quite a big butts right there, but okay. A Robloxian, yes, I decided to make a Robloxian as well. We've got quite an assortment here, haven't we? Very interesting. Yeah. A dancing noob. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. A stick man. And it's kind of like I just attached some of his limbs to parts that don't really make sense, so it just looks like he's kind of would you really call it dancing? Well, it's dancing, what a stickman would call dancing, probably. But anyway, let's actually get into making a brand new character. And like I mentioned about the UI, this is really nice. I really do like it. The colour scheme's nice, but I also like how tidy and compact it is. And like I mentioned previously, I like it as this thing at the bottom that tells me what it exactly is. But there is one thing I thought was quite weird, is there's a reset button and a new character button. I think they basically do the same thing, so I don't really see a point of it being there. But, it's just something, maybe just to fill in an extra box, an extra button there. You may also notice here, is, well, you can load and save characters. Obviously, I've already shown you that. But there's also the ability to actually send the characters you make, and you can actually put them on the workshop. Really nice idea, by the way. I really like that. I like, you know, making it easy for people to put content out there for other people to use. It also helps build communities as well, which I really like about, you know, just making it so people can, you know, use the workshop, modding, and, you know, stuff like that. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. And also might as well be looking at the menu right here. Let's go into settings. And there's quite a lot of settings here. Like, we've got the ability to set keybinds, which is a very good settings, very important. It's, you know, really customizable, which I really like. And there's also loads of there's loads of different kinds of customization besides that. Like, you can actually customize the font color, like, you know, I just like this level of customization. It's nice. Like, if you don't like a certain thing, you can just change it. If you don't want to listen to music, if you want to play your own music, you can set a different, you know, music track. And just like the amount of settings this game has, it's just really good. Like, a lot of games I've played just don't have that many settings, and I assume it's because the game is technically released on Steam, so, you know, it's always a good idea to have this many settings to change. But yeah, you may have noticed something else here. Tutorial. Let's actually look at the tutorial before we do anything. You know, want to learn some stuff. But yeah, let's learn this tutorial. And like I mentioned, like the UI, I just like this kind of. There's a lot of nice animations with it as well. It's got charm to it, which is what I really like. But yeah, this basically will go over everything you want to know about making a character that dances. Yeah, let's just go through this fast as possible. And, you know, as we're going through the tutorial, I may have noticed what I've opened up here. This is the menu that allows you to access the primitives you will use to make your characters. And the tutorial's going for this, you know, as well as I do, but you've got all these settings you can basically alter the object with. You can change the color of it. You can, although there are tools here that allow you to change the position, rotation, scale, there are actually the ability to change those positions, rotation, scale more precisely using actual numbers, which is really, really good. And you can also do stuff like making it so there's like flat shading by, you know, getting rid of shadows, making it so it emits light, and there's that parent thing, and that's how we basically will, you know, attach our objects to that rig. And also mentioning color and stuff, there's a really handy feature that allows you to obviously set like preset colors if you want to use a color again, which is really handy. Yeah, overall, I think the UI is nice, and it's just a lot of features included in it, which is what I really like. So yeah, let's actually do what the tutorial says. So let's parent this to this. Very cool. So that is the end of that tutorial. Okay, so now we've had a look at that. Let's actually start building a character. And I'm thinking, let's build a mannequin. Oh yeah, first of all, before I actually do that, I've already mentioned all these, like the different menus, like the properties and the primitives, but I haven't actually talked about the hierarchy. Basically, when you parent an object to another object, it will, you know, do that thing where it'll be above the object, like this. That's the parent and that's the child. And you can move that object. Well, that's the wrong one. Move the object, but like the parent with its child, which is really handy if you want to, you know, basically add multiple objects together to make one object, so you can move it all around together, which is really handy. Very cool feature. I think it would be cool if I could simply, you know, shift click and just, you know, select loads of objects without having to parent them, which would be a really nice feature to include as well, I do believe. Or maybe the ability to box select stuff. But the parent feature is very handy in itself for that, you know, purpose. So when you do parent stuff, it does change the scale. Like, it makes the scale localize that parent. You may notice they're exactly the same size, and that scale's 1, 1, 1. Well, that's the actual global, you know, scale of it. So yeah, if you parent stuff, it will change the scale of it. So that might also be handy why you want to have a different select tool as well, which would be handy in itself. Okay, so we don't want to use cubes, we want to make a mannequin, so we need to have rounded objects, like a sphere. And the amount of objects you have right now are really cool. We've got a cube, sphere, a capsule, cylinder, and a square-based pyramid. But it would be nice if we had a bit more, maybe like toruses and like, you know, different kinds of prisms. Or maybe even the ability to change the amount of faces you want on something. Like maybe not as complex as subdivisions, but maybe have, you know, triangle-based pyramids and a bit more, you know, and a bit more primitives we can work with. Yeah, let's start on our mannequin character. So we're gonna make the head a bit bigger than that and parent it. Very nice. But let's make the actual colour like a wooden colour. Like so. That's pretty cool. Okay, now let's work with the other body groups. Okay. So let's do the torso next. And a really cool feature here is also duplicate, so you don't have to keep, you know, a lot of things have this kind of, you know, features that you kind of expect, but, you know, it's just nice that developers included it in. Especially the fact it tells me what it does. I don't have to, like, look it up in, like, a settings menu to understand what things do. It just tells me at the bottom right there. Another thing about this game I really like is this game has really cool achievements in it. I just like the idea the game has achievements, because it obviously, I feel like achievements in a sandbox game will obviously, they add more, you know, they make it so you do more than just, you know, do the stuff in the sandbox. It gives you other things to do, basically, if you have achievements. Which I really like, you know. You don't want it just to, like, be just that and that's it. It's nice to have achievements alongside of it. But speaking of achievements, I feel like a really cool thing this game might want that might be very beneficial. You know how we talked about community and stuff like that with the Steam Workshop? What if this game had like a challenge mode where you will make your characters and scenes and you would go off on a theme and you would be challenging, well, basically find who makes the best character or the best scene. And maybe you get achievements through that. Or, I don't know how you'd be rewarded through that, but maybe just for your accolades, really. But it'd be nice to have like an achievement where you're like chosen for like the best characters and stuff. And like I said, it will be very beneficial for, you know, the community aspect. And we're going to do the legs. Wait, is this a bit... Okay, we need the hips. Yeah. Put these down a bit. There we go. But you can see how easy it is to actually create a character. Like, I do 3D modeling myself, and you usually would have to use like armature and make the armature. You have to parent the whole armature to the thing. And this thing, all you got to do is just attach object to part of body. Done. Simple. Easy. It's like a very easy form of 3D modeling. And honestly, this possibly could get people into doing 3D modeling if they really enjoyed it. And I do really like this. It's really nice. It's it kind of feels in a way kind of like a dev tool rather than a game sometimes. You know, the idea you have to model stuff and stuff like that, but it's also a game. I really do like it. So yeah, now we have made the legs. Make the feet. Duplicate that. Rotate that. Let's actually do this. Wait, that's the wrong way to do it. Am I doing it wrong? Oh, it's because it's attached to that. That's the reason why that's happening. Now, do this. There we go. So we can fully rotate it now because it was attached to a part of the body, so it couldn't rotate properly, I don't think. Here we go. 1 foot to the next one. There is one gripe I do have with this way of... it's not really the way of modelling, it's just a feature that I think needs to be included, actually. Is sometimes when I'm... excuse me. Sometimes when I'm moving an object, sometimes I might accidentally misplace an object I didn't mean to misplace. It would be nice if there's an undo feature. Like, you know, I could undo that change of position. It'd be really handy, to be honest. Do the shoulder now. Go. I'm just gonna make this such a basic character, just so I can demonstrate how it really works. Let's make the arms. Just make sure the shoulders are just right. You know what would be cool if they did in this game, actually? If they made it so you could have multiple rigs. So we could have, like, a whole party dancing. That'd be neat. I do think that would be pretty cool. What else could they do? I was thinking maybe something else they could do is maybe add like a timeline and make it so you could actually like make your own music video and like you can make objects move and stuff and make the camera move so it moves around the entire scene. That would be pretty cool as well. But I feel like that might be a bit too extravagant of an idea, maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's what they might be planning all along. But I don't know. Sure we've attached everything. Okay, now just the last parts of the arms and we've done our little mannequin. Go. Make that hand. There we go. Now just the other arm. Go. Duplicate that. And here we go. Any final touches we can make? The neck. Forgot about the neck. Mannequins have necks. Humans have necks. Oh, there we go. That's kind of what a mannequin. Yeah. Would it go here? There we go. We got a mannequin. Really nice. That's what the kind of stuff you can do. His arm's a bit weird. Yeah, bro, your arm's a bit weird. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's see what other dances we can do. Because you can, there's some settings here that will, you know, allow to change what happens when you play the actual game. So we can change the animations to different things, like we can change it to the chicken dance if we wanted to. His arm's really deformed, oh god. Sorry, how did he need to just improve his arm a bit? You see how sometimes objects can get a bit in the way? Like, that's the reason why an undo feature would be really cool. Because I have made, like the pirate guy I made, used up quite a lot of objects. Oh, his arm's still a bit weird, it doesn't matter. This angle looks a bit better. Yeah. There's all these different dances. Oh, breakdance. Really cool. Oh yeah, also there's this screenshot button here that allows you to actually screenshot your dancing model. So you could literally just use the Steam version of screenshotting if you wanted to, but it's a cool thing. That's it. You know, it's included. That makes it pretty cool. So yeah, that is the game and basically what you do in it, which is really nice. So let's actually start talking about some other things that I like and things that need to be improved. So what should we do now? Let's maybe go back to an old thing I've made, maybe the ship. Oh, I need to save it. Mannequin. I think that's how you spell it. And there we go, it's saved. We can actually share it if we wanted to and get that achievement. Might do that later on actually, because we need to talk about the things I like about this and things that need to be added. Let's go back to the ship like I mentioned. Oh yeah, something I'm also really happy about this game is the amount of objects you can actually add to the scene. Like, I know it's just basically just you know, an animation playing game, but it's just nice you can add loads of objects and stuff. It's really cool. So, things I've mentioned that I feel like need improving is add more primitives. Other things have I mentioned. Select things without having to parent them might be pretty handy, like shift selection and maybe box selection might be really handy. The ability to, oh, I've randomized music, that's what I suggested as well, so it's not just the same tracks. You've probably heard that song like a million times. I've already, you know, played my character over and over again. And maybe make it so the actual animation saves. And also it would be nice if you could actually make it so, you know how I mentioned like the timeline thing where you can like change what object positions are and move the camera to make a music scene and stuff like that. Maybe at least make it so you can have it so maybe their dance moves change, like you can add the ability for the dance moves to randomize as well as music. I also thought maybe make it so you can even add your own music, though you could probably just play it over them dancing if you wanted to. You don't need the game to do that for you. Just an idea, really. But yeah, now we've gone over that, let's actually talk about bugs. Or should I have just a quick read over things I need to probably do? I just don't look through everything I've noted as good. Okay, let's have a quick look. Tutorial good, yeah, I like the tutorial. I mentioned how it was quick and easy, very good. What else did I mention? Steam achievements, nice UI. I think I've gone over everything I've actually written. Yes, I have. Okay, let's talk about books. Oh yeah, also something I just noticed is, you know when you select stuff like this, when there are objects overlapping, it would be very nice if you could see which object is selected by it having like some kind of color it turns to when it's highlighted, or selected I mean. So this object will be like bright blue, so it's a bit easier to differentiate from similar colored objects. But yeah. What else did I mention that needs to be improved? Oh yeah. it would be really nice to have transparency with color, so I can have characters who have like, you know, glasses, maybe like a globe on their head, you know, like they're an astronaut, or I don't know, from Bikini Bottom. A squirrel from Bikini Bottom. Windows, maybe. You can have windows in your houses. Like we can literally build a house while I mention all of this. Let's reset. Build a house. But yeah, let's build a house and just kind of show you what I mean. Not a very big house, but house, roof of house. I think that's a very simple house I've built right here, but wouldn't it be good if we had, you know, instead of making this just blue, it'd be nice if we did have some level of transparency. Probably put too much effort into just making just the simplest point, but it'd be so much nicer if we had transparency in colors. House. Very cool, right? Okay, let's go back to the things I've need to talk about. What else did I mention? I think I mentioned the ability to move the rig around, because when we go back to the pirate ship, let's go back to the pirate ship. Originally, the entire ship was not, well, the guy was not in the correct position, so I needed to move the ship slightly, but it would be so convenient if you could move the guy instead, like the rig itself. Yeah, it's quite simple, you know, need, but I think it'd be very handy, and like I mentioned, have multiple rigs as well would be really cool. So what else have I said that might be really handy? Let's have a look. More primitive objects, already mentioned that. Change skybox, I think I've already mentioned this. The ability to change the skybox to different kinds of skyboxes, like maybe even make it so it's nighttime. I think I mentioned that at the very start of the video. And the timeline idea. So I feel like we've gone over a lot of things. So let's actually look into bugs now. So, first of all, I have written down all these bugs so we can demonstrate them. So, go back to a new scene again. Let's look at the bugs I've written down. Oh yes, the first bug I'm going to talk about is usually, you know, when you press play, the menu for the primitives kind of disappears. You can't actually play as a primitive. But what you can actually do is you can press play with spacebar and basically do this. You can place objects down when you press play. So this is what happens. It places it. You obviously can't use any of the menus for it, but you can see all the different like the scales, the position, you know, tools you would use, but you just can't use them. They're all just kind of confused and don't know which tool you want to use. That is a minor bug. It doesn't really do much. It's just kind of a, you know, just a weird quirk that happens. And it also happens with pretty much every other tool. Like, if you were to, I don't know, grab hold of this and press play, you can still do it. Same with scaling. Same with rotating. Just do this. Like so. So you can still use tools even though you're not really meant to. And speaking of things you're not really meant to, with deleting things, when you press play, you can't delete things using, you know, the normal delete key, delete. But for some reason you can delete it using backspace. Because there's two delete keys, which is really weird. I don't know why there is two delete keys. There's deleting 1, deleting 2. But you can use deleting 2 during the actual it playing. We're deleting one you can use during its playing, which is really weird. Yeah, I think it's quite weird. Oh yeah, also something I think will be very handy is, well, actually, I think you can technically kind of do that actually already. Like if I were to move this really far away, I can just type in the coordinates and bring it back. Yeah, you can do it that way, but I was going to suggest maybe make it so because you can press this button here to reset the camera. Why not do the same thing for like objects if you want an object to be brought back? You don't have to type in the coordinates. But yeah, those are, well, that was one bug. I think there are a few more. Let me look at my list. Okay. So yeah, the tutorial's quite easy to break, though it's not really a big deal because it's not like you soft lock and can't play the game anymore, but I just thought it was pretty cool how I managed to break it. Basically, here's the tutorial. It wants you to place a box or something, like so. Yeah, let's go through this. But when you hit this part of the tutorial, you can just reset. And you just kind of can't do what it tells you to because it requires you to like parent the object that you had onto it, but you don't have an object anymore and you can't access the object anymore. So you have to, can't even do a new scene. But the way you fix this, you just load a scene. There's the pole again. You just, you know, just load a scene and it fixes it, or just exit and go back in. But yeah, that's basically how you break the tutorial. Okay, let's go back to our mannequin. I want to see my mannequin again. Alright. So, the next book, let me have a look. Oh yeah, when you parent stuff, there's like... just kind of... I'm trying to see this, how this works. It's doing it right now. Oh, I don't want to parent it. That's not what I want to do. Let's load it again. Basically, what you may notice is when I parent this object, and then I go... what is going on? I'm not... Oh, it's because I'm clicking the base plate. That's what's happening. Okay, that's the reason why it keeps happening. Let's just load it back so I can demonstrate this. And don't go near the base plate this time. Here we go. So let's do this now. So when you press parent, it makes the thing invisible. But you can keep on doing this with practically every part of the model. So eventually your model kind of disappears. Kind of weird. Don't know every single one of them. There we go. He's completely invisible now. Let's just parent it to the... Where is it? Base plate? The ground. Oh god. Can I actually even parent it to something? There we go. Okay, now I've managed to fix it. So now we just have to go over everything again and it appears. But yeah, that's kind of weird how you can just make every single object kind of disappear using the parent tool. But yeah, basically the way you solve that is you have to like place an object or have an object that you didn't make invisible and then parent onto that, and it just go through all the objects again and they will appear again. But it's quite a weird bug because, you know, I don't get why that one tool is going to make all your... I just press the base plate again. Which is kind of a weird, very weird issue. Okay, another really weird issue I've noticed is, let's get a cube. And you may notice the cube's rotation is 0, 0, 0. Well, there's something that's really weird I just kind of can't make sense of. Like, if you parent it onto the head, though it doesn't look like it's actually changed in rotation at all, that's its new rotation apparently. But when you actually click onto it, that's when the rotation actually changes. It just doesn't really make sense. But yeah, let's change its rotation back. But even when I like change the rotation to 0, it's, you know, it's like changing rotation real time, so it's like putting different values in there. Let's do it with another object. Let's do it, not object, body group. Let's do it with this one, because it's completely different now. But it's just, it's the same look. It's not changed or anything. I don't know why it's rotation like that. Yeah, let's just bring that back, or let's just see what it actually looked like. Like, the rotation's weird. Like, I feel like in regards to like units and like measurements, like rotation, stuff like that, it's a bit weird. But yeah, is there anything else I want to show? It's the thing with the 2 boxes also. Thing. Let me just show this. So if you parent that to that, that to that. Yeah, that's weird. No, it's not really. That actually makes sense. Does make sense. Because it's local scale. Okay, that makes sense. So what was the thing I did with this? Oh yeah! You know how I mentioned with the ability to do things when it's playing, you can actually... Oh wait, his head's detached. You can actually attach this while it's playing. So parent... No, that's wrong. Here we go. I pressed the play key and the parent key at the same time. So now we're going to parent it to his head. So basically you can parent while it's still playing, which is really weird. It's related to the bug we already shown. But the bug I'm really trying to figure out is the one where you make... So... do this. Worked. There we go. That worked. I think it has. Okay. These 2 objects are technically the same in scale. But it says 0.99. Unless it's very slightly just smaller or larger, but it doesn't look like there's much of a difference, really. I don't get why it's 0.99. Maybe that's an issue? It's a very minor one, but I just think it's a bit weird. That they're clearly the same size, it's just a bit weird. That one should be attached. They're all 0.25. But yeah, these 2 that were attached to the head group, and then it removed, and then a new one's added. It's, for some reason, the difference between that and that is 0.99 of that. It's not even like 1, apparently. I have to set it to 1. Does it work now? Now it works. Okay, okay. It's working now. But I don't know why it changes it ever so slightly. I've noticed. Why does it change it? I think it's a bit weird. I don't know. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun playing in this game. Really interesting. Really nice little sandbox. I've mentioned loads of things I like, mentioned things they can improve on, but I hope you guys have liked this video and thought the bugs are pretty cool, thought, you know, everything in this game is pretty cool, liked the character I made, liked all the wacky other things I've made. But yeah, thank you for watching this playtest of me playtesting, what's it called again? Dance Assembly. Okay, see you guys and thanks for watching.